Hi guys, we're back for another reading of the Alpha Savior Chapter 3. This time you guys are asking me for a southern accent, well, Kentucky. I can't really do that well, but it was good practice. So let's just begin and we'll see how it goes, shall we? Chapter 3. Cooper. Bip bip bip. The slow, steady noise beside my head drags me from my sleep and into what feels like the worst hangover ever. Opening my eyes real slow, I take a couple of seconds to get my bearings and realize that I'm in a hospital bed. I try to sit up, but a sharp stabbing pain in my stomach makes me lie back flat on the bed. I'm in agony and wince as I try to move my arms and legs. I hurt everywhere. I growl to myself, not liking this feeling of weakness one bit, and lower my head back to the pillow. So much for accelerated heating. It doesn't seem to be kicking in quite as quickly as I'd like. As a wolf shifter and an alpha at that, I pride myself on being strong and nearly indestructible. I guess a speeding van is an exception. You're going to be a terrible patient, aren't you? My sister Layla stands in the doorway with her hand on her hip, chuckling to herself. I ignore her, close my eyes tight against the pain. She lifts the chart at the end of the bed and scans over it, her dark brows pulled together in a frown as she switches from annoying sister into serious doctor mode, reading out some of the litany injuries catalog on the clipboard in her hands. Fractured skull, cheekbone, and jaw. Dislocated shoulder, broken collarbone, arm, and wrist. Broken ribs, ruptured spleen, shattered ankle, and multiple deep lacerations. I wish she'd stop because I don't want to hear this. I already know. I'm a mess by how much it hurts. She shakes her head, dark chestnut brown hair falling forward over her shoulders, and whistles softly. You were very lucky. This, she pauses, blinking hard, shakes the chart at me before continuing, in a wobbly voice. This would be enough to kill most people, even you, Cooper. If that girl hadn't dragged you out of the river, I can't even think about it. It's too scary. She keeps talking while lecturing me, really, about what a close call it was, as if she needs to tell me what getting hit by a van was a bad idea. But I stop listening. As soon as she mentions the girl, flashbacks of what happened start to run through my mind, but not the bad stuff. There is something else that my wolf is pushing me to remember. The amazing scent I smelled just before the crash. I remember it vividly, and it's making my mouth water just thinking about it. Despite the fact that I was barely conscious, I can remember the tingles I felt all over my face and body as the girl gently touched me. The sense of calm that washed over me, despite my pain, as she whispered comforting words in my ear, her warm breath touching my neck. My mate, she was there. Another flashback of long tan legs, a toned stomach, drops of water running down a slender neck, into a tight sports bra as she just stood just a few feet away from me. A curtain of long, wavy, wet hair hid her face from view. A much less pleasant image of her cradled in Ethan's arms, her face buried into his shoulder, and her hand resting lightly on his chest pops into my brain. I clench my fists tight, grip my teeth, growl building in my chest. Cooper, what the hell was that? Are you in pain? My sister asks, looking at me with concern as the heart monitor beats rapidly and my blood pressure shoots up. Thought of another man having his hands on her is making the blood boil in my veins, and jealousy, unlike anything I have ever experienced, flares up inside me. I've heard stories about the possessiveness that comes with finding your mate, but this intensity is shocking. Agitated, I sit up and swing my legs over the side of the metal hospital bed, ignoring the seeming pain in my abdomen where I have been probably pulled open some stitches. Dark spots appear in front of my eyes, making my head swim and my vision cloudy. I grab at the tubes and wires attached to my arms and chest, trying to rip them out. I need to find her. It's a primal feeling, like nothing I have ever known. Thought keeps repeating over and over in my brain as my wolf pushes me to get moving. Jesus Christ, Cooper, what are you doing? Layla shouts. I don't bother answering, and she bolts for the door to get help. But I don't care. They won't stop me. I don't care about anything other than finding my mate again. What if she's hurt too? What if nobody knows who she is and I never see her again? My wolf lunges for the surface, urging me to keep going, ignore the dizziness that's making the room spin. Pushing up onto my feet, I grab the bed railing for support as my knees tremble slightly. Only then do I notice the cast on one leg up to my knee. It's going to make walking difficult. I reach down to slip my fingers inside the cast and start to pull lumps of the plaster away. Whoa, hold up, Cooper. What are you doing, man? Ethan rushes in the door and grabs my arm, trying to stop me from destroying the cast while simultaneously turning my back towards the bed. Then I smell it. I recognize it anywhere now. I smell her, my mate, and that delicious scent that makes my heart soar. But it's all wrong. It's on Ethan. I can smell her on him, and the scent is recent. In a split second, I pivot and grab him by the front of his shirt with both hands, shoving him hard against the wall and pinning him in a place with a forearm across his throat. Where is she? I roar, not caring who might hear the commotion. Anyone from our pack will know better than to come in. Ethan slowly holds up his hands in front of him in surrender, conveying to me he has zero intentions of even attempting to fight back. My wolf accepts his submission, but Ethan's grinning at me like a fool, and it's infuriating. I don't care that he's my best friend of 20 years. At this moment, all I know is that he is an unmated male who smells like my girl, and I want to rip his head off. Cooper, you need to chill out. Haley's fine. She's safe. I promise, he says in a low, calm voice. Haley. Pride fills my chest as I hear my mate's name, and I loosen my grip slightly. Ethan relaxes a bit as I remove my arm from his throat, and he takes a deep breath. It's short-lived, though. Jealous rage quickly replaces that feeling of joy at hearing her name, as I realize he knows her name, and I didn't. He has her scent on him, but I haven't even seen her face yet. I roar again in anger and lift him off the ground, shoving him hard against the wall again, causing a crack to appear in the plaster behind him. Who is Haley? Ethan, tell me what on earth is going on? My sister asks, confused. She stands a few feet back, knowing better than to intervene, blocks the door from anyone else who might try to come in. I can hear the fear in her voice as she tries to work out what has happened to me, or happened between me and my best friend. That could explain why I've lost my mind. Cooper, she's here.
Cooper, she's here.
Cooper, she's here. She's in the hospital, but she's fine. I thought she might be yours, so I went to check on her for you. I knew that when you woke up, you'd want to know how she was. That's all, I swear, Ethan explains. I set him back on his feet and fix him with an icy glare, growling at him one last time before I push away and take a few deep breaths to calm down. I drag a hand across my stubble jaw and try to regain some control. Show me where she is, I order him as I hobble around the room, searching for something more respectable to wear to meet my mate other than a hospital gown with my ass hanging out. No, Cooper, you can't go to her, Ethan says, but before he even finishes his sentence, I rush at him snarling. He's expecting it This time it dodges me, darting sideways, putting the hospital bed between us. He rakes a hand back through his blonde hair and exhales sharply, holding his hands up in front of him again. Wait. Cooper, damn it. Stop trying to kill me for a second. I'm just saying, you can't go to her right now. She's human. You'll scare her if you don't get a grip on yourself. He sighs and stands up straighter when I don't move to attack him again. Ethan looks me right in the eye, and I can see the sincerity in his gaze. He's trying to look out for me. She saw you get hit by a van yesterday, for fuck's sake. She knows how badly you were hurt. How are you going to explain this? How are you going to explain how you're up on your feet walking around today? He gestures to my already rapidly healing body. I pause for a second, and my stomach plummets as I realize he's right. I don't want to scare her or freak her out. And that means staying away. This hospital caters to both humans and shifters, but in different wings, so there are no suspicions raised by our rapid healing. But she's my mate, I grumble sulkily. I hear Layla gasp from the corner of the room as she finally catches on to what's happening. I slump down in defeat on the bed and drop my head in my hands. It's just unbelievable. This is the second time being near her in the last 24 hours, and I still haven't seen her. I heard all the stories about the mate pole, and I've longed for many years to experience it for myself. I am desperate to get to her. It feels as if my skin is crawling with the urge to get up and go to her, ignoring the consequences. Even though logically I know Ethan is right, every fiber of my being is screaming at me to tear the building apart to find her. It must show in my face, as both Layla and Ethan look like they are about to throw themselves on top of me if I try to get out of this room. I twist to face Ethan and fix him with a stare, pulling a finger at him. You make sure she is safe. If anything happens to her, I will end you. Ethan nods, still smiling despite my threats. Then I face Layla. And you, please get me out of here. I'll tear this place apart if I have to stay here any longer, knowing she is in the same building. I plead with my sister. She nods and leaves the room immediately, hopefully setting things in motion for my discharge. Given most of the town's residents are wolf shifters, the staff here are used to treating rapidly healing wounds. Making sure that bones are set correctly is normally their greatest concern. Before he leaves, Ethan reaches out, places his hand on my shoulder, and then he throws back his head and laughs, as if seeing me so tormented is the best thing he has witnessed in a long time. Congratulations, man. You found your mate, he cheers, tipping his head back to laugh at me some more. I try to console myself with the thought that this is only temporary. I wince as I lie back down on the crisp white hospital bed sheets, and I let out a loud sigh, wondering how long this torture's gonna last. That was fun, but also very, very difficult. Alright, so that was my attempt at a southern accent. Chapter 4 will be coming out very, very soon. Thanks for tuning in.